Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to Real Estate with Ryan. So excited to be with you on a Saturday, talking our favorite topic, real estate. And as always, it's the weekend. It seems like this week has gone faster than most. But I appreciate your time. Appreciate you joining in to us. We got a great show for you. As always, talking about a little real estate, a little fun topic. Hard to believe that February is winding down. Got my spring colors on. Spring is right around the corner. I don't know about you guys, but I'm over the cold, ready for warmer weather. And how the housing market responds to warmer weather, I think that is a sentiment across the country here, ready for the cold weather to get going, right? To get out of here. It's freezing. I know the other day it was frigid. I'm pretty sure over in Hardin Valley we saw snow, and up in the Smokies there was snow. So it's hard to believe that. But East Tennessee weather, middle of March, we could have snow. You never know what's going on. But as always, we got a good show for you. We're talking about 2026, relocating as the real estate market picks up across the country. It is officially going into the first quarter, the end of the first quarter here in March. And that is where the madness, not only basketball March Madness, the housing madness. So if you're buying or selling, this is go time, and we're having a lot of people relocation, a lot of calls into the office, and an opportunity to start thinking about putting your moving plans where they need to be. But if you're shopping, or you're thinking about relocating, what states, is East Tennessee undervalued? And so that's our topic today. Is East Tennessee undervalued compared across the country? We'll talk about some other states, how the experts rank certain states in the area. Where are the top 10 places that people are selling? Where's the top 10 places people are going? We'll talk about that and so much more. Before we get going, as always, we got some congrats getting going, some new listings. Been busy. So we got a brand new listing on 7700 East Esther Way in Knoxville, beautiful condo in West Knoxville. Make sure you check that property out. 3-bedroom there. New listing on 1709 Watauga Street in Sevierville. 3830 Caitlin's Lane. Investment cabin. Make sure you check that property out. 604 Cherokee Orchard Road. Beautiful income-producing property, only a couple years old. Make sure you check that property out. Great price, right under $1 million. So make sure that already had great activity on that from the get-go. Congrats to our great sellers on 1205 Parkview Vista, went under contract. And then 2839 New Blockhouse Road in Maryville. Congrats. And then our great sellers on Lost Branch Road in Sevierville, congrats. And then our great seller, 310 Hollywood Circle, past client, Karen, we appreciate you so much. We sold her house with her mom's, and now it's a generational thing, and she's kind of selling her house in Sevierville, and she's moving back closer to family in California. So we sent her back to California. Great to spend time with her. Me and April have spent last 7 or 8 years helping her and her family, and so it was hard to see her go, but glad to be part of that, and so we're going to stay in touch. So super congrats for her. And then great sellers on Mulberry Road, large acreage out in Roane County. All right, so that's our congrats. A lot going on in the housing market. Hope everybody's doing well. Let's start off anything, as everybody talks about the interest rates. Where are the interest rates? Well, for the first time in a long time, we are under 6%, 5.89, 30-year fixed. Freddie Mac, Fannie Mae, very similar. So that was very, very good to see. Housing market's talking about that. And what does that mean for affordability? What does that mean for buyers? Is the market going to explode? I don't know. Still see stagnant to certain parts across East Tennessee. But as we change weather, more buyers come in. We've got great clients that are coming in this week from Maine. Believe it or not, Maine. He said, Ryan, they're taxing me to death. I'm leaving. I said, well, I just sent people to Maine. He says, to each is their own. To each is their own. So we got some great people relocating from Maine and people coming in. And I think that's what we're looking for here moving forward is where do we see buyers comparison shopping? And that's what we're going to do, comparison shopping, not only homes, but locations where we want to live. And how does Knoxville, how does East Tennessee stack up as one of the undervalued areas? Is it still undervalued? Seems like it's very pricey. How about comparison to Nashville, Charlotte, Atlanta, and Tampa? Some hot areas out there that kind of look at and compare to our area. Had a great showing the other day. Couple came in and looked at one of our properties. We had a chance to chat with the agent a little bit, and we were present for one of the showings and just discuss some of the relocation. And they were from California, and great potential client from California, talking about this area versus their area and just what to expect. So a lot of opportunities out there, and people are getting to know this area. And one of the segments, was the affordability factor. And I kind of get into that affordability factor. If you're looking now, a lot of locals, right? A lot of locals are feeling that we're almost pricing out of the market. I thought that was a good statement that the agent made, that felt like that market, that the new people coming in are driving up prices for the people that have been here for a while. And so I'm sure that's kind of a segment, but that's kind of a tone across the country, though, in different areas, because there's lots of people relocating. I have an opportunity to talk about that. Let's talk about that before we get in some of the states. But of the housing markets where buyers and sellers are relocating, regional differences will remain. And where sellers are poised to have a big win in 2026, we got Hartford, Connecticut, believe it or not. So Hartford, Connecticut, Buffalo, New York, number 2. New York for most sellers. Providence, Rhode Island. San Jose, California. Number 6, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Boston, Massachusetts. Los Angeles, California is on there. Number 8, Richmond, Virginia, hometown. And Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So those are areas that are identified that are expecting to have large increases for sellers as well. Now, we were talking a little bit more about interest rates, affordability, and I think one of the experts, professionals from the National Association of Realtors, was on a talk show, and they were talking about how the interest rates, how we've seen this in the past where we've changed in a dramatic format, over 1%, really, over the year. And so last time we did that, there was a huge spike in sales. And so the National Association of Realtors, I think Mr. Yin, I can't pronounce his last name, Yin, I think it's Yin, predicted, and this might be a bullish prediction, that 14% increase this spring or this year in sales. 14% increase year over year. So I thought that was interesting. They're expecting with the interest rates, I think a lot of it, most consumers, if you're buying or selling, they're thinking, hey, if we're going to buy or sell, mentally, I've got to be under that, 6%. And then now we're 5.98. So maybe does that make a move? I hope it will. Stronger buyer interest, shorter time on the market, better odds of closing in those particular areas. So sellers, if you're thinking about selling there or leaving from there, maybe a great opportunity to sell your property in your time. Why does that come into play? Just talking with some people in Maine, one of the things that we're going to run into is if we're selling our home and we're coming to this new area, how are we going to balance that move all together? It's never easy. Never easy. And if you're balancing that move, the first thing you want to do is definitely, if you're relocating out of the area, you don't know the area, you want to get with a great agent to kind of help you, walk you from this from start to finish. You need a great team. And we've got an amazing team here to help you, and we're always there for you. But have a good agent in your corner to start your search. Not only start your search, but to help you navigate a new area. Nothing's more scary where you just got relocated or you sold from several states away, and then you're here and you're trying to do it all yourself, and you're looking on the websites, and you're calling agents, and you're calling the agents direct and trying to do all that. Listen, one of the smartest things you could do is delegate that time. And I can tell you that teamwork on a big move like that is your smart move. So get with a great agent before you start. Then, most importantly, pricing is key. Knowing your areas and really get a feel. I've got our clients that are coming in, and I said one of the most important things that we did when we relocated here, and most people do, and you have to. East Tennessee is a large area to cover. You really have to know the areas. School zones are very big. The clients are coming in, they want to be in the Farragut schools, so that's important. So that's going to give you a certain zone. But some people are private school. Some people are doing homeschool. So you got a lot of opportunities out there. So know your areas and your zone. But the best method to kind of determine where you want to be is to kind of get out there and look. Neighborhoods, new construction, what you're seeing that you get for the value. That comparison shop is big, especially if you have family in the area. So I thought that's big. We're going to come to the second half here in just a few, and we'll talk about some of the markets here that that we're seeing with the difference in making more homes affordable, more of the buyer opportunities as we move forward here in 2026. We'll talk about that and so much more here with Real Estate with Ryan coming up after the break. Stay with us.
When speed matters, every second counts.
Wow, that was fast.
In real estate, speed is an advantage.
In football, speed is crucial.
In softball, speed is game-changing.
If you want your home sold fast,
Trust Ryan Coleman and his team at Hometown Realty for fast results.
Thanks, guys. Go Big Orange.
Hometown Realty is East Tennessee's #1 real estate group and a proud sponsor of the Vols.
I'm Ryan Coleman with Hometown Realty. The real estate market's changing every day. You need to know your home's value in today's market. Text your home address to 290-2290 for an instant, no obligation home evaluation. That's 865-290-2290. And remember, when you're ready to sell, we have a guaranteed sale program to get you in your next home stress-free. Trust your hometown experts. We've helped thousands of people just like you. All right, we're back at it. Second half Real Estate with Ryan. We got a good show for you. Just talking about, is the real estate housing market in Knoxville, East Tennessee, is it undervalued? We're talking about that and so much more. I forgot to give a little shout out in the beginning. And if you're tuning in for Real Estate with Ryan for the first time, catch us on the second half. I appreciate that. You can always find Real Estate with Ryan on all our social channels, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I say Twitter, now it's X. Sorry about that. Spotify, you name it. We're replaying on all those in case you miss a show. And then we're live on News Talk 98.7 at 1 o'clock. Every Saturday you can check us out there. Or Talk Radio 92.3 FM, AM 760. Also streaming live on their Facebook channel. So always shout out to our partners there and appreciate you guys. So we're going on 10 years. I don't know, time's flying, but really enjoyed that partnership and appreciate you, all you great listeners out there as well. Before we get going, we're going to get into our vol update. A lot of news, a lot of action, and drum roll, please. All right, you know it's activity today. Alabama, 6 p.m., Thompson-Boling Arena, Food City Center. Big game for the men. Make sure you check that out. I know we sent some people there and some great fans, so look forward to seeing you guys there. I think me and April are going. I don't know. My daughter's not a big Alabama fan, so she's wanting to go. We'll see. And then our women are playing Vanderbilt Sunday at 2 p.m. All right, make sure you check that out. And thank everybody that has followed our channel and everybody that's went to the games and sends your pictures. We love it. Keep them coming, and we love seeing you guys as well. You know, Lady Vols softball, #1 in the country. Big weekend. We've got Penn State versus at Saturday at 3 p.m. day. So we got a Saturday game, and don't forget we also got one. It looks like a double hitter at 5:30. So I try to keep all these softball games together. Remember, like, share, and follow our post. We got autographed swag, Carlin Pickens softball, and we got tickets that we're giving away for the Lady Vols. So that is our Vol update. Hometown Realty, proud sponsor of the Vols. Go Big Orange. So a lot going on, a lot of things happening. Baseball's going, softball's going. March Madness is right around the corner. Hard to believe that time is going. Let's talk about buyer markets. We talked about seller markets in the first half, kind of get back into the show. Rochester, New York, opportunity. Harrisonburg, Pennsylvania, #2. Granite City, Illinois, buyer opportunity. Birmingham, Alabama. My aunt's from that area. North Little Rock, Arkansas. Syracuse, New York. Baltimore, Maryland. St. Louis Park, Minnesota. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And Garfield Heights, Ohio. These are buying opportunities. More affordable pricing. Better housing availability. Better for first-time buyers. Have an opportunity to kind of get into these markets. As anything, they may be a little bit down right now, but an opportunity to turn around as the market turns. So buyers, these are opportunities if you're looking across the U.S. In those markets. So check out those top 2026 buyer and seller markets. Let's talk about the Knoxville housing market, some of the things that are affecting why we may be undervalued. The unemployment rate in the Knoxville housing area, the DMA, is 3.2 to 3.3%. The Knox growth market, year over year, is about 1.1 to 1.5 year over year. 10,000 active jobs on the market right now. 10,000 active jobs. So one of the big things on jobs is some of the relocations that we've got in this area. Let's see here. Okay. Let's see. Southwest Airlines to Tyson McGee, bringing in some new jobs. PSA Airlines, maintenance base, new aircraft. And of course, Crunch Fitness, I don't know if you've heard of that, is opening a new fitness location in Knoxville. And then, of course, over at Oak Ridge, the expansion there, large-scale R&D jobs, about 175 jobs being brought to Oak Ridge for their large facility with broader tech and manufacturing opportunity. So that being said, is Knoxville undervalued? Some of the values and some of the areas that are very pricey and still holding consistent is the 37919 area, 37932 area, and the 37922. So, your Hardin Valley, Sequoia areas, West Knoxville, those areas are staying consistent. Where are we seeing our luxury price trends? Seeing a lot of those in luxury pricing. And one of the things that we're seeing in this market is, what is luxury market? So it's hard to be. Luxury market, that's hard to be. Well, luxury in today's market is about $900,000 to $1.5 million. Luxury is in those markets, should get you in there and still have some of the amenities and features that you're looking for. Some of the top areas, 37922, 4 to 7 million is going to be probably top of the market in the area. So something to think about. Looking at our area, still affordable, but the luxury market has an increase in activity. We're seeing an increase in activity. So anything above $1 million, we're seeing movement, good opportunity, good buying signs. And so opportunities there that if you're thinking about buying or selling this year, selling your property, knowing that market's holding pretty steady, it has a stronger outlook as we definitely increase into the spring market. And that domino effect comes involved. A lot of people understand that the domino, just like the couple I have coming in from Maine or California or wherever, that domino effect comes in. And so they have to sell their property. They may qualify for one, owning both, but still, what makes sense in today's market? There's a lot of expense. Relocating my family from, several states away. I want to make sure that I can sell my property or sell it within a reasonable time to make sure that those numbers make sense. So those are things that people are looking for, especially with the interest rates. A lot of people with the market, affordability, interest rates being where we need to be. And I think that's what we talked about in the first segment, that mindset, that shift of, is it 6%? Now we're under 6%. Our 15-year is well under that. So opportunities are now in the marketplace, and that may be where the signal was, the National Association of Realtors was signaling that, hey, Ryan, we may see a 14% increase in sales this year. So those are opportunities. Will it happen? Only knows. Only time knows. But we're seeing a little uptick and things that we're working on, and expected to see that when rates trigger behind that. A good sign of the market is if you follow the interest rates over the past, I'd say 24 months, if you saw a reasonable adjustment in the housing market with the interest rates, sales would lag a couple months beyond that. So in today's market, sellers, house on the market, still in some challenges, right? Not a buyer's market, but it becomes more opportunities for the buyers than we've seen in a while. Sellers are struggling with today's market, Sellers are spoiled with the opportunities they've had for the last 3 or 4 years, and pricing based on what their neighbor sold years ago is not working, and it's challenging. So what are we going to do to combat the fewer showings? The buyers that come in, maybe they're serious, maybe they're not. They come in with the low offer, or the agent that shows the property and they never come back. And that's a challenge in today's market. We have a lot of professionals out there. But in today's market that are a little bit more challenging, experience makes a difference. It really does. And so if you're buying or selling, choose your agent wisely. Experience. It's a big move. And obviously numbers come into play, but numbers always get worked out to a certain degree. But finding your forever home or finding that right property is key. And so making sure you go in there with the right presentation, understanding the offer, didn't just throw in lowball offers. I think I mentioned last week, one of our clients ended up not working on an offer during the show, I think during that time frame. And he said last time that he made an offer, when he made that offer, it was lower and the seller got insulted and ended up costing him the house. And he really wanted that property. So understanding that, if you're getting guidance of just throwing that offer out there, sometimes could hurt you in negotiations in today's market. And the seller shuts down and they never come back. So experience makes a difference. Sellers trying to skip some repairs. We know that we've seen more properties fall through because of inspections in 2025. Look at those. Don't sell as is unless you have to. And understand that those pricing negotiations, playing hardball, trying to negotiate. I get it. We need to negotiate as much as we can. And you need somebody that's going to push to get you that. All right. But sometimes on these inspections in this market, we need to negotiate and make sense. And some of the repairs that will come up, it's a question. We've got one that we're working on now, and the inspector came in there, and you're having to combat some of the items that come through. So I would say as we're closing, one of the key components is that if you're selling, know that there's two sales. Not only do we sell it on the beginning, and then we have to deal with the inspection. So work really hard to find the items that are important for the buyer and try to compromise. When in doubt, we can do a credit. We can do a home warranty. We have options. Be open to hopefully put that deal together and get everybody to the closing table. There's a lot going on. Hope you've enjoyed the show for you. I enjoyed being with you. Hope you guys have an amazing weekend. Look forward to seeing you back next weekend. Y'all have a good one.